Behave children.
The behaviors that were bad.
No, it did not.
It said that if your child can't keep. What did it say, Dino?
It said that children who can keep their food on their plates and their bottoms in their seats,
are welcome.
And the kids who cannot do that will be asked to leave. See?
It's saying positive things. If you can do this and you can do that, you are welcome. It doesn't say if you don't do this and you don't do that, we don't want to have you. It wasn't a long list of don'ts and negatives. It was actually a positive. We welcome this positive thing. If you're not that positive thing, get the fuck out.
Right. Exactly.
I guess.
So. And I'm for that as a person who goes to restaurants.
And as a person, as a parent, I'm for it. And, and I understand both sides of it. And, because I was just thinking the other day, because when I went to, you guys know I went to a funeral, and I took Danya with me. And I was just thinking that it's so nice that she's at an age that we can go somewhere together and I don't have to constantly stop this, stop that, do this, do that. You know what I mean? Like she knows how to, because I did all that. She's now at an age where she knows how to behave and she can sit through, what seems like an eternity to her. For her, it was, it was
something
only
that's no interest.
It was short, but for her, it seemed like a lifetime.
Right.
She even said so afterwards. She said it seemed so long or whatever. But she sat there and she was quiet. She didn't fidget. She didn't, she wasn't playing with stuff. She should, touching things that she shouldn't be touching. She was a perfect, well-behaved child, and I was just felt so good. Because for so many years, I'm sitting there, stop that, don't do that, sit up straight, don't slouch, don't, put that down, don't touch that, And don't get me wrong, it's not like that's totally over with,
right?
But there are times when, we can get through something without that. But like to this day, if I go to she's been this, I think this past year, I think we probably are pretty good with her trying to run around the store up until probably this last year. Her last year of elementary school, she still would try to run around the store, and I'd have to check her, Danya. We don't do that. Stop it. Get off from there. We don't. Quit acting like you know how to act. And I tell her, like, if you want to act like a baby, I'll put you in this front seat like a baby of the basket. Talking about the basket, because don't know no 10-year-old want to be in the front seat of that thing.
Oh, that's detailed.
And I'll be like, I will put you. I will put you can't run around. You gonna run around the store? I'm gonna put you right in this front seat. Where I can keep an eye on you, and then, So, I mean, I get it. They do that. Something about the store, a kid gets in there, and they just want to run wild and they just do, and you have to check them. You just have to. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how many times until they finally, here we are from the time that she could walk, well, I won't say the time that she could walk because she was in the basket for a while. I guess she'd been out the basket since she was probably about 5 or 6. So we had a good 5 or 6 years or whatever of me constantly, stop running, stop doing this, stop climbing, stop this, stop, you know what I mean? And just because that's what they want to do,
Yep.
And you have to do it. And if you don't, then guess what? They're going to be doing all this stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, and they're going to cause problems, and it's going
to get out of hand.
Exactly. They're going to get out of hand, and they could hurt themselves or somebody else,
There was one parent in this article I recall that there was a child of an autistic. Her child was autistic, and she thought it was insensitive because she's like, there are definitely a number of times where my child does not meet this criteria,
right?
Like they can't keep their bottom in the chair or whatever the case may be. But I almost understand that parent's point of view, except that's like, honey, this sign is for the general base, like. It's not for. I think if they were so insensitive that they would take you and your autistic child to kick you out, well, I won't go to Arby's either, honey, on your behalf.
Right.
I don't think they're talking about your child. You need to step down.
I don't think they are either.
Well, I'm glad they took the sign down because it is just Arby's.
I'm not glad they. And I wish people would stop doing that. I wish people would stop caving in, to political correctness and people's being hypersensitive and all that. I wish people would just stand up and just, look, I have rights too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Freedom of speech is for everybody.
Right. And this is my business, and I want, a certain type of behavior here, whatever. And I'm, and this is your warning. So there it is.
I would be a little bit more on the parent side, if it was something like, if it said, "Don't bring your badass kids here," I think that's a little insensitive. Even though that might be what you want to say, that's a little insensitive.
Yeah.
Or if your kid is ghetto or something like that, that would be definitely culturally insensitive or something like that. Or don't play none of that Beaner music or nothing here or something like that. That would be a little insensitive.
That's insensitive.
But this sign, not so much.
Yeah. I'm with you, Pip. All right. So we left Netflix for a second, and we're right back on it again. Because I'm so sick of talking about Monique and Netflix and all that stuff.
But every 6 months, you come back up.
Oh, my God.
She was just losing weight and dancing her little booty off. What happened?
So, so in our, what do you want to call it? I guess, in our celebrity gossip section, we got Monique again, still beefing with Netflix, and this time she's taking it to court, saying that she's suing them for discrimination, saying the same thing, that she's beating the same dead horse that she's been beating, saying that they discriminated against black women and or women and racial and gender bias,
right?
Saying that they discriminate against women and women of color, and I guess she wants to try to have the courts make them hire her or make them give her the amount of money that she wants for the for her stand-up special.
Right? Didn't she? I don't know if this is necessarily in her case or will come up in her case, but didn't she also cite some incident at Netflix that was maybe a homophobic incident or something? Do you remember this? I kind of remember the article.
I don't remember reading that part.
Or somebody,
about it,
or it was a racist incident. Something happened on set where on a Netflix show.
I do remember something about a Netflix executive. Or
maybe she was talking about Kevin Spacey or something.
I don't know.
Because she really tries to stress. It's more than just her not getting her money.
Yeah,
she's trying to say Netflix is discriminatory across the board.
Right, and I don't think she's gonna and then Flame Monroe, who was recently on Tiffany Haddish's Netflix special, right? A series on Netflix with a comedian, a female that's in the LGBT community. Well, actually, Flame Monroe is. Did you see the interview with her on The Breakfast Club?
I didn't.
Okay, that is a great interview. And
I like Flame Monroe. It's
a very
interesting
wonderful
person.
I like her too, and her. In any case, she kind of identifies. She's a little bit confusing. Like the first part of the interview is a little bit confusing because you're trying to find what box that she belongs in,
right?
Which category where does she consider herself? But once you, or at least for me, once you let go of that, and because basically she just like I'm all over the place,
right?
I'm a little bit of everything,
right?
And I'm just me,
right? I'm
right?
A father
and once you,
and a woman,
right? I'm right, exactly.
Drag queen.
She's like she said my pronouns are he, she, and them. He, she, and them. He, she, and we, or whatever. It's and she's not offended. You can refer to her as him or her, or some people call her Mr. Her kids' friends call her Mr. Flame, and so she's not offended. She's not offended by whatever. You can refer to her whatever gender. She don't care. She's like, niggas, long them checks cash. Did the check clear? That's what I care about. Like, did the check clear? I don't care what people get all bent out of shape, and she's so not that. She is so and she was just like real candid about the whole Malik Yoba interview that they had up there and all that.
Yeah.
So she really won me over, more so in her interview than she did with her comedy, just as a person. You know what I mean? And her attitude about everything. But in any case, I got a little bit sidetracked. I digress. The reason why I bring her up is because she kind of clapped at Monique a little bit, because she said way back in the day, before she was anybody, she had a chance to be on the radio in Chicago with Monique. It was Monique. It was it was Flame and some other person. And She said Monique said some things about she couldn't get down with her lifestyle and this and that and the other thing and whatever. And basically,
also hypocritical.
Yeah, and she lost her job. You know, her manager called her up saying like, "Hey, what happened between you and Monique?" And she was like, "I don't even know Monique. Like, you know, for anything to happen." She's like, "Well, she threw you under the bus and said she can't be down with your lifestyle, and yada yada yada." And you know, but I'm glad she said she was just joking. The comment that she made about her husband being gay or bisexual, whatever.
John Mons, that's who she was talking about.
She said that part was a joke, but she said she you know, basically has a feeling or there's vibes or whatever. And I was kind of glad she did that just because I've always had the same thing, you know, like about, yeah. And I was always wondering if it was, you know, if it was a thing or not. But, you know, just out of curiosity, not that it matters.
Did Monique sometimes say that like her own sexuality was fluid?
I don't know. She might have. I don't know.
Monique said something about something being in her butt one time. As far as I know about that. That's all I know. She did.
Oh my God.
Well, this is I'm not surprised to hear this. I'm still a fan of Monique as a comedian. But this notion I've heard this from other black performers where a black performer kept a gay or trans performer from getting a job because they didn't like their lifestyle. I've heard this before. This is not the first time I've heard this situation.
I'm you know what? I'm finding it hard to to ride for Monique in any form at this point. Because first of all, I've never been a huge fan. I never thought that she was, you know, all that funny. You know, just never.
I've seen her live twice.
I've never been that big fan of her and her whole skinny bitch routine. Never cared for that.
I think that's why I like her. She reminds me of my auntie, the one that just passed away.
And
I like Monique.
And then I kind of like when Precious came out, I was like, oh, okay, damn. You know, I got respect for her as an actress,
right?
You know, and I still have that. But beyond that, I'm cool. I don't really, you know, as a person.
She's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, she is. You know, kind of self-righteous.
Oh, it's kind of.
And she got them twins.
And let me say this too. We've talked about Joe Coy on this show before. I think we're all fans of Joe Coy.
Yeah.
Been riding with Joe Coy for a long time. Joe Coy is just now getting to the point where he's kind of blowing up, and well deservedly because he's been grinding and putting in work for a long time.
Well,
Funny
he's been
dude.
cashing them Netflix checks for a while though.
But no, actually he hasn't. This just recently he got his first Netflix episode.
Are you sure about that? Because I feel like I've seen him on Netflix too for a minute.
Yeah,
No,
that's why I
no.
first found out about it for a long time.
Unless they were Comedy Central shows
got
that
his
they showed on there.
Maybe
he's got this came straight from Joe Coy's mouth. What I'm about to say is that Netflix turned him down so many times that he just went and paid for his own special and shot it. And then he showed it to them, and then they were like, okay, we'll buy it. And then they said, okay, on the second one, we'll put up money for it or whatever. But for that first Netflix special, which was like last year or the year before or whatever, fairly recently, he paid for that because they would not give him a special at all. No offer, no amount, no money, no thank you. They passed many times on him.
Well, he has a lot of specials on Netflix.
I'm just saying that those could be Comedy Central specials.
I'm not saying that they were,
or maybe they're on Hulu or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they were shot and filmed and done all that by Netflix. But what I'm saying is, if you look at Joe Coy on Netflix, he has a few specials on there. Not that Netflix paid him for those until recently, you know.
Well, in any case, my point is that he was turned down even worse than Monique.
Monique was at least offered something.
She was offered $500,000 at least. They just straight said no, thank you. We'll pass. And Joe Coy is selling out places.
Right. He's actually on the road doing stand up.
Right. And he's selling out big places. Now he's selling out bigger places now that he's got the Netflix specials. But he was still like, you know, Joe Coy has been working for a long time. He's been grinding and getting paid. Like he had money. You know what I mean? But now he's just really blowing up. So, you know, it's not everything. This is back to what we said a couple weeks ago. It's not always about race. You know, it's not always about gender. It's